Hey friends, this is Dolany TV. Welcome aboard. Before we head down to the beach to kick off Canada Day here, you'll hear in the background lots of sirens if you're listening really close as the parade is kicked off here in Cold Lake, Alberta for another Canada Day 2024. Let's go. But as we would say as well, friends, free agents frenzy is officially open and the Oilers are on it. Jeff Jackson making a ton of moves here as interim GM of the Edmonton Oilers. And my goodness, this is a huge one here that we're talking about in this live stream that will become a video for those of you watching back home at a little later. So apologies if things are a little rough here in this video. It's obviously very much so ad-lib, basically just trying to get everything out all at once and try and remember everything I've read 20 minutes ago setting up this live stream. So friends, the Oilers have signed Viktor Arvidsson to a 2-year deal, $4 million AAV. So he's here for $4 million cap hit. Viktor Arvidsson, obviously a good friend. I think it was reported of Matthias Ekholm. And for the Edmonton Oilers as well, this is a huge deal to get a top six forward. A guy who I think, if I've got my math correct, has scored 30 goals a couple of times in the NHL. To wing aside Mr. Leon Draisaitl, so one might assume that if the Oilers are looking for any more cap space here this offseason, it is going to come down to one Evander Kane being traded out of town. But at the same rate as well, friends, we're also targeting Jeff Skinner, so there's still plenty more to come potentially today for the Edmonton Oilers, plus all the RFAs and stuff that we have to sign. That said, if you're new to the channel, please, right now, consider hitting that subscribe button and staying tuned for all things Edmonton Oilers throughout the summer as we get geared up towards the 2024-2025 NHL regular season. News today as well, the Oilers have, released that they will play the Winnipeg Jets in their home opener on, I believe, October 9th this year. So season kicks off a few days earlier than it did last year, which is nice to see. As we get more into the meat and potatoes of Viktor Arvidsson, though, 2 years, $4 million, absolutely awesome to see the Oilers go out and sign a top six forward on free agent frenzy. We haven't really done that since we signed Zach Hyman on free agent frenzy a couple years back. And you look at how that turned out for Arvidsson. It's a 2-year deal, literally here to win a cup. That is what all these free agents were going to sign today, tomorrow, throughout the summer, if they are able to sign more, will be coming here to do, right? The Oilers were just that shy of doing the job against the Florida Panthers, one goal shy. Well, now Leon Draisaitl has a bona fide winger. You lose Warren Foegele in the process. You lose Vinny Desharnais in the process. But for the Edmonton Oilers, right, Viktor Arvidsson is a big name, a big-time player, and obviously a guy that has contributed heavy to that LA Kings attack over the past few years. A guy that, right, hasn't necessarily bit us over the past 3 years, considering we've beaten the LA Kings 3 times out of 3 so far, but still a guy that is a value add to this team. And for $4 million, you are getting a heck of a steal, especially considering it's been reported he's a good friend with Matthias Ekholm, if you were listening here earlier in the video. But it's just important for the Oilers to continue to add top-tier talent to the team. And when you can add a top six forward like Viktor Arvidsson, a guy who's got some speed, some shooting skills, everything you like to see, a guy who's played in the LA Kings system, so you know he can defend when counted upon. Things are looking good here for Jeff Jackson. And you look at Connor Brown, right? You look at Viktor Arvidsson. You look at everything else that's kind of getting going here for the Oilers. You're still waiting on news on Matthias Janmark, but I believe what Patrick the Oilers fanatic texted the group chat here earlier today is the fact that it is a multi-year deal. Apologies about the notifications. Completely forgot that in the scramble, but that's Patrick and Gillis TV just going off, double checking some stats on Jeff Skinner for us. But yeah, for the Oilers, it's going to be an interesting haul. Obviously, Arvidsson is a huge piece to add to this team, especially given that we are where we are. It'll give us another option on the power play if Hyman goes down, or if the Oilers want to actually, truly, finally roll a second unit for about 45 to 50 seconds, right? Get 2 faceoffs, 3 good scoring chances for the top unit, get the second unit over there and get some power play goals, because I assume one thing we will learn out of this past season for the Oilers, and especially adding a guy like Viktor Arvidsson is going to allow us to do, is you got to have that second power play unit being a weapon, right? If that top unit gets shut down for the Oilers, as they did against Florida at times, it just kind of just throws everything else off. Right now, the big boys are playing big minutes. The other guys aren't quite juiced into the game as much after 2 minutes, and all of a sudden things kind of get a little bit by the wayside. Now you're juggling the lines, trying to get guys going out there, and it just doesn't have the same effect as potentially having a second power play unit that can score goals on the ready. So Arvidsson added. We're waiting on news on Henrique. Haven't really seen anything on that front today. But you think about what the Oilers attack still has, right? Is you've got McDavid, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, now Arvidsson. You've got Kane still hanging around for the time being. You've got a guy like Ryan McLeod. You've got a guy like Connor Brown, right? There's a plenty of options there on the Oilers that you don't just have to rely on McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins to score your power play goals anymore, especially given what Connor Brown was doing. If he can be a double special teams player for you throughout the year, that would be absolutely fantastic. A Hyman light on the second power play unit alongside Arvidsson, alongside Ryan McLeod, alongside Darnell Nurse and Matthias Ekholm. That is a second power play unit I very much so like for 40 to 50 seconds. Looks like Jake DeBrusk has signed with the Vancouver Canucks. That is unfortunate news, but again, I guess that's one angle I missed here on the live video, is the fact that it was going to come down to, for the Oilers, one. I very much so like